We're live at REMAX Capitol Properties. So, go live. 3, 2, 1.
Hi, welcome to REMAX Capitol Properties Live. I'm Amy Leavitt, one of the agents here, and this is my husband,
Brenton.
And today we are going to be talking about 5 questions that we are getting from sellers. So do you want to go with the first question, then?
Yeah, it's now a good time to sell. That's one we hear quite frequently.
All the time.
And so you kind of think about it as now a good time to sell. It's going to depend on your circumstances. But
well, what might that be? Are you becoming an empty nester? Are you adding to the family? Or does your dog need a bigger yard? Or maybe a man-made pond in the backyard? Because, well, it's a water dog and you can't keep it out of water. But yeah, currently we have 356 homes on the market here in Cheyenne. Of those, 63 are new construction. So it also comes to the question of, are people looking in your neighborhood? Some of our older neighborhoods are very desirable. The older homes in East Ridge where we live, they are really great houses. They have a lot of great bones. Might be a little bit dated because they were built in the 1950s to 70s. So you might have that retro look. And
we've got some great ones. There's some with 1 stall garage, and there's some with 3 and 4 stall garages.
Yeah. Some
with great big shops. So that makes something, if you want to upgrade and get a new shop. We
know you want a new shop, huh? But it honestly comes down to what is your family's needs. And honestly, there's always people in the market for a home. So no matter if you choose to sell now or later, it's never a bad idea to contact a local realtor and just have some of your questions answered.
Yeah,
So.
We're here to answer those questions for you.
Yeah.
And there's always a reason to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't think you want to sell, and then you're sitting there and you find something you really want, or it's like you think you need to spend more time in Cheyenne in the summers or in the winters, then maybe you're looking for somewhere else to move to.
Yeah. So another one we are getting is, how much is my home worth? And I know everyone goes out to Zillow to say, hey, my Zestimate is $500,000. You might want to contact a local realtor, because a lot of times those online estimates aren't really close, because with the way Wyoming works, not all of the houses that are sold are actually known, the prices. So it's a, what do they call it?
We're a non-disclosure state.
So
some of those can't populate with real numbers.
So as realtors, we have access to the information, unless it was a private sale between just 2 parties. We know what your neighbor's house sold for generally, and that can help us be able to get a better idea of what your actual value could be. And keep in mind, just because that's what an appraisal or not an appraisal, estimate comes up at, that we come up with for you, a market analysis, that doesn't necessarily mean that's what you will get for your house. It's just a good educated guess.
And at the same time, we're going to go through things with you, what's the curb appeal like? You're going to ask me, hey, if I put in a new countertop, am I going to get X number of dollars back and stuff like this? Where those are good questions to ask, and we can help with all that. Because if you've got a tree that's overgrowing the house and it looks like it's going to fall in, that doesn't help with the curb appeal.
And this guy knows what he's talking about with plants. The only reason we have a garden is him. Everything would die if I was in charge. It's not a good idea, but we can help with little things like that to try to maybe increase the appeal to a potential buyer.
Yeah, do you want to stage the home? Or you want to declutter, take down your personal things?
Okay, I think we're getting into the next question on that one.
Are we?
We are.
Oh my goodness.
So if you want to know a good idea of what your home might be worth, contact a local realtor. We'd be happy to help you with that. But if there's someone you love and trust, go ahead and talk to them. It's never a problem for us. I know we are happy to talk to anybody about what their value is, and it is the most expensive thing most people own. It's a very big part of your investment portfolio.
And then call us and we'll help you.
Exactly. So as you were starting to get into it, what is number 3? What are some things I need to do to get my home ready for sale? So definitely the decluttering. Something a lot of people don't really think about is, when your home is marketed, there are going to be professional photos taken. That's what we make sure we do. We have a photographer come in. Do you really want pictures of your children on the internet? So we help advise with things like that. Take down any photos that are too personal. I mean, some people have their pictures of their kids all over, but again, do you really want your kids' pictures on the internet with the marketing process?
Yeah. So most folks, they can try and visualize their belongings, their furnishings in the home. So if the house is full of things and you can't see the floors or the walls, or we got to talk about that. So that's what we would talk about there. And we might have to get rent a space and put it in the garage or something like that. I mean, there's ways we can get around that.
Yeah, and we can help you get your house to be the best representation of it, because again, there are folks that can walk into an empty room, like, okay, my couch is going here, that hutch that was great Aunt Edna's is going over there, and you forgot to put your phone on silent. But there are other folks that they walk into a space, and if there's a lot of stuff, it's really hard to see past what you have. And also, if you're selling your house, you're going to be moving. So do you really want to move all of that? We can help with some of those things. But again, going into that whole thing of, if I replace the countertop, if I put in granite, am I going to get the cost of that granite countertop back out of the modification to the home?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's little things like, you're not going to get dollar for dollar, but
No.
if it can definitely help.
Yeah.
More than likely, it's not something that would be recommended unless you're going to live there for another year or something and get some enjoyment out of it. But little things like, mow the lawn, cut the weeds.
finish the trim that may not be done in the house, or you've had that hole that you patched that you haven't necessarily repainted. Little things, can really make a difference when people are looking at a new home. So we can help point out those little touches that can help your home present its best face.
Yeah.
So
You got a fence that's fallen in, you got 4 walls and the fence, then the backside's fallen in. Yeah, we probably need to do something with that.
yeah. And we can help provide lists of contractors that can help with some of these things. If you're not overly handy, then, or if you are, we can say, hey, so this might help make your home present better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's lots of things that we can do in those, that really help. And sometimes you're in a position that you just don't want to do anything, and we can advise in that regard too. Because you may just want to say, hey, I'm out of here. So we'll just take it as it is and just tell the people that that are going to buy it that that's how it is, and let's work and get you the best money and get them into the new home.
Yep. And get you onto your next chapter. What else would we suggest? Or are we on to the next question?
Yeah, I think
I
we're
think
on
we're on
to
to
the
the next question. So what is number 4?
Would it be wise for me to have a home inspection before listing my house?
So we've had sellers do both. And I think some of them may have wished they had done a home inspection prior to listing the house, because they found some major things when the buyers did their inspections.
Yeah, it's a really good idea, especially like a roof. If you've got problems with it, or the furnace is deteriorated past a point of no return, and yet you're like, well, it works, and yet
a lot of those appliances have a life cycle.
yeah. So we'd advise you to get a home inspection, and it may not be just a home inspection. Possibly it's your plumbing and heating, electrical, and we find out that the electric panel is out of date, or
One
circuit
of those
breakers.
that's most insurance companies don't like.
Mhm.
There are a couple of those out there.
So those are good things to know before you get into it, before it's actually on the market. And then, you know, when we go and we have a prospective buyer for your home, we say, hey, we've had all these things fixed. And then if the inspector that they choose comes in and says something, then we got documentation or we know about it or whatever the case may be there.
It's always better to go into a situation with as much information as you can possibly have to start with. Because if you just put your home on the market and don't look at any of the potential problems, like a bad roof. We had that massive hailstorm, because those happen a lot here, unfortunately. But your roof might have been good last week, and because of weather, you now have to have a whole roof replaced because the frozen ice is a bad thing coming out of the sky.
Well, even with those kinds of events, you know, we know roofers and window companies and, you know, different contractors that we can get that stuff fixed in a fairly timely fashion so that if you were selling and we had to close, we can get it done. So those are always good too.
Yeah. But again, I always find that it's better to have the best possible amount of information to start with. I have a saying that it's better to plan for the worst and hope for the best. That having the inspection is kind of that planning for the worst. You have an idea of what people are going to find potentially with the home, so you know ahead of time what they might be asking for when they ask for repairs or concessions.
Well, little things too is they'll call out drainage, and you know, you might have your flower garden and you've gotten to a point now where that it's kind of grading back towards the house. I mean, it's going to be called out, but it's an easy fix. So if you know it ahead of time, nobody has to know about it. But if there's glaring like paint peeling next to the door when you walk up, you know, they're going to call that, or they're going to discount the house. They're already counting stuff. So we're just going to look at this home, and so we're going to discount because we noticed there's a torn screen, there's the paint here. So all those little cosmetic things, it can help. And we would advise in that regard.
Yeah. Again, it's better to know what you're going in with. So I think we're to question 5, but I actually want to go back to question 2 because I just remembered something. When you're talking about how much is my home worth, when you're starting to market, something we're noticing with buyers nowadays is if you just throw a number at your house, say we come up with our market analysis says your home is in the 380 to the 400 range. You say, hey, let's just go 400. A lot of buyers are not wanting to offend you. They think by offering something less than what the home is marketed at is going to offend you. So they'll just look at something else. So take into consideration what the analysis we've come up with, because it's as close as we're going to get to what your house might be worth. Because when it's really high, they're not wanting to negotiate. They'll just look at another house that's in a price range that's closer to what they're looking for.
And they don't even look.
Yeah, they won't even look at your home. So again, it's a good discussion to have with your realtor as to how you want to approach that when you market your home. Sorry, I forgot that one. Question 5. How long do you think it will take for my home to sell?
It's always a good one.
Yeah. So based on what we have for Laramie County statistics with the multi-list service from 2019 to 2024, the average days on market is 33 days for our market, which that's crazy. That's really quick. But REMAX, we have 20 days. So it's good to use a REMAX agent.
Well, those 10 days, 13 days, you know, what's that mean for you? That
Exactly.
means you don't have to keep it clean because you're not showing it every day.
You don't have to make sure the dog isn't out and scaring people by barking at them.
Yeah, so there's some advantages there, for sure.
Especially if you have young kids. I mean, it's hard enough to keep the 14-year-old's bedroom picked up. I can't imagine a 5-year-old. Oh wait, it's probably about the same. But it's less you have to keep in order, and it's also getting you closer to your next step in life.
Yeah.
So
But there's no magic you know, what your house is going to sell with, but priced properly, homes sell rather quickly.
Well, and it's a matter of, are you putting your house on the market or in the market?
Yeah.
So if the house is on the market, you might not be getting people looking at it. But if it's in the market, it's priced competitively, and it's close to what someone is willing to pay for the home.
Yeah. And then, you know, what other homes in that price range are you competing
Exactly.
with? So that makes it different. But well priced and a well marketed home, you know, we're still getting them to move rather quickly.
Definitely. So, I don't know. Did we have any other questions or anything else we were wanting to address?
Anybody out there in the live world calling us?
Well,
we're ready to answer them.
Well,
Give us a call. Brenton Leavitt, REMAX Capitol Properties, 307-630-3400.
Amy Leavitt, REMAX Capitol Properties, 307-275-4657. We would be more than happy to help you find your next home.
Yep. Bye-bye.